Hello, hello, it's Bobby, aka Paginator. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. We do bookish and crafting journaling stuff here. Today we're going to be doing a tag that was created by my wonderful journaling friend Janie over at the Crafting Bookworm, and she tagged me and a couple of other people to do this tag, so here we go. Basically, I have to create something while talking about my journaling journey. So we're going to be answering some questions, and fair warning, if you're new to my channel, sometimes I break out in song while I'm crafting. It just happens once in a while. As I answer questions, I'm going to be making something inspired by the amazing Margaret over at Seven Plaza, and we'll just get going. Question number 1 is, when did you start making journals and show your first journal? I started making journals in early 2022, I believe. Recently I was thinking it was 2021, but no, it was 2022. So it's been about 2 years, and I've just kind of dove into this world. It started when a good friend of mine asked me if I had ever made an altered book, and I said, no, I haven't, but I've thought about it, and I've seen a few things online, and then I started watching videos, and it just kind of took off from there. So my first journal was an altered book style journal, and I don't know if I still have pictures of it because it was a gift for that friend who introduced me to the ideas. I'll go through and search, and if I can find some pictures of it, I will insert them here for you. This stamp didn't work perfectly, but we're going to go with it because I want to use this one. You can see my failed attempt on the other side. But we are going to use this piece of paper to see if we can get this stamp made. Question number 2, did someone inspire you to start making journals? If so, who? Yes, absolutely. And she is part of the reason why I'm using dragonfly stamps for this video. So when I first started looking up altered books, what I found was a series by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, and she walked through the entire process, picking a book, prepping the pages, decorating all the things, and I fell absolutely in love with it, and with her art and the way that she teaches people, and she has continued to inspire me since that time. I think I've watched every video on her channel in the meantime and watched all the new ones as they come out. I recently ordered a physical item from her shop, and you'll see that in my very next video that's coming out. The stamp kind of moved, and it didn't get very dark down in this corner. I don't have one of those fancy stamping platforms to redo the stamp and have it be in the exact same place. So I might just use this top portion that got darker. I don't know though. Okay, we'll give it one try with the restamping, and if it fails, then maybe we'll just stick to the one stamp and just make one of these things. I do have some nicer stamps. These ones are a little bit cheap, but again, I wanted to use dragonflies in honor of Barbara. So anyway, as I was saying, Barbara has been an amazing inspiration for me. Also through Barbara, I became acquainted with Louisa Heinzel, and those two ladies are my absolute favorite junk journal artists, and I also was able to get something from Louisa. So you'll see both of those things in my next video, and it's already been filmed, and you will hear me gushing about them the entire time. Oh, I forgot ink brushes. I need to get some ink brushes. I will be right back. I may or may not have had a slight mishap with the camera stand while I was taking a small break to get the ink brushes. Okay, we're back on track, I think. We're going to use the back of this magazine because I know I won't be using the back page for anything. So where were we in the questions? I think I was gushing about Barbara. I'll stop doing that and go on to question number 3. What is your journal style? As with all art, style evolves over time. But for the most part, I would say I like vintage things. So I try to make all of my projects look vintage. I do use a mixture of digital stuff, replica stuff, and then like actual vintage ephemera. So I don't know if that's a style, but that seems to be the best way to describe what I do. I usually make journals with sewn in bindings, although once in a while I will do the altered book style. And I recently acquired some books with really beautiful covers that I want to do altered book wise, where you keep a good chunk of the pages, turn them into pockets and different things, and decorate them. Okay, so that was tea dye that I was going over that with, and I want to pull in a little bit of some green tones, but I want to do a vintage photo first. So let's do vintage photo. Question 4, do you use a theme to get you started on a journal? Yes. Almost always I have a theme. I was going to give an example of the most recent one, but I can't use that one quite yet because it was a surprise for someone. Okay, now we're going to get some old paper. Just a little bit of this. But yes, I love themes. I feel like when I stumble upon a theme that's inspiring to me and I keep thinking about it, then that's my sign to create a journal with that theme. Some of the themes that I currently have in mind and have been kind of tossing around in my mind are The Wizard of Oz and Snow White. Also, recently started thinking about doing a circus-themed journal. I should probably make one for my niece. She is turning 16 soon, and I asked her what she'd like for her birthday, and she said surprise me. So of course my mind goes to journal making, right? Ooh, forest moss might be a little bit dark for what I want. Anyway, as I was saying, my niece, who's about to turn 16, she is a cowgirl, like 100% cowgirl. She also really likes to sew, but her horse stuff has like taken over more of her time, and that's what she's really, really passionate about. She was recently featured in a magazine in her hometown, which is not where I live, but they featured her in an article called From Sewing Machine to Rodeo Queen, because she is a rodeo queen. If you don't know what that means, it means she's an ambassador for the sport of rodeo. She also competes in rodeo, and she is like a walking rodeo encyclopedia. She can tell you all the top competitors, especially the current one. She can tell you rules, all these things. And that's what rodeo queens do. They are ambassadors for the sport, and they help promote the sport and educate people who have questions and that kind of stuff about it. So long story short, maybe I will be doing a rodeo journal next. My nephew, who's 17, has also expressed to me that if I made a boyish rodeo journal, he would actually use it. So we might be doing 2 rodeo journals in the near future. All right, so that's enough about themes, I feel like. This video is going to be way too long. I'm so sorry. Number 4, no, that was number 4. Number 5, how long does it take for you to make a journal? That really depends on how much time I have. Because I am a school teacher and also a book nerd, and I like to read physically, you can't read physically and make journals at the same time. So I am doing a lot more audiobooks so that I can craft and read at the same time. So if I'm in a space where I'm wanting to read a lot and not craft as much, it could take me up to a month to finish a journal. Or if I have a lot of teacher stuff going on. For example, in the month of March, I had to go on a very long overnight field trip with kids. I say very long, it was 3 nights, but when it's 3 nights and you're in charge of teenagers, it feels very long. I also had spring break where I was at my family's house, and I can't really create journals while I'm there because I'd have to bring my entire craft room, and you know what, my car's not that big. But let's say if I am in the zone and like I have a good like 3-day weekend or something like that, I can knock out a journal in a weekend. It just depends on how invested I am in the project, how excited I am about it, and what my schedule looks like. Oh, we're not going to see any of the words here. I was going to back them on this book page, but we won't see any words. So let's go with some of this paper here. This isn't craft paper, but it's about the same color. Some cardstock. Question number 6. What is the first thing you do when starting a journal? Most of the time, I start scouting for materials. Whether that's just digging through my craft room and looking for things that fit the theme, or getting on Etsy and checking out any digital printables, seeing if there's anything that I want to use there for that. I will look at YouTube videos, if there's a specific kind of binding or journal I want to make. But most of the time, the first thing is to start scouting for materials. So, for example, the surprise journal I mentioned before had a very specific theme. And again, I can't tell you what that is, but you'll be seeing it in an upcoming video soon. And I went to 4 different thrift stores in Salt Lake City and looked for things to do with that theme and the color scheme that I wanted. I like to go thrifting. I also go thrifting in my craft room because, let's be honest, my craft room is basically a hoard of craft supplies. I probably should use a paper cutter for this to ensure straight lines, but we're just going to go in with the scissors and be brave. Number 7, what style cover do you prefer to make or use? Cloth, hardback, soft cover? Always cloth. I always do fabric covers. Now sometimes those are wrapped around a hardback cover. Sometimes those are more soft covers, for example, like taking some packaging, like an envelope or something, a large manila envelope, and putting it in between layers of fabric. But I always use fabric on my covers. I was raised by a mom who was and still is a very talented sewer, and fabric, it feels like home to me. Question number 8. If you make a soft covered journal, what materials do you use? So kind of what I just said, a manila envelope or some kind of large packaging or large paper to give it some stiffness and structure. And then I'll do fabric on both sides. I learned that from Barbara because, you know, most of the things I learned are from either Barbara or Louisa. So, of course, I learned it from them. And, yeah, paper and fabric, I guess, is what I use for soft cover journals. I'm going to be using one of my favorite stamps. This is a splatter stamp. Came as part of this set, which I believe is Tim Holtz. I've thrown away the packaging, so I can't remember, but you guys will probably know. This is an awesome stamp. What color am I going to stamp with? I kind of want to use forest moss because it's going to be a different look when stamped than it is when we brush it on. So, for example, it's a lot darker here than with its being brushed right here. Number 8, do you use ephemera you can get in a kit, or do you prefer to make your own? Most of the time I make my own, but I also will raid scrap stashes, etc. And I do have quite a bit that have come in kits because I like to buy digital kits, and I also have a few that are just like bundles of paper that I've gotten from a crafting or scrapbooking store, or like gotten paper packs at Walmart or that kind of thing as well. So I can use those for ephemera, or I can kind of make my own. It's really kind of a balance. And depending on what style of journal I'm doing, if it's super vintagey or if it's more clean and less grungy or more modern looking, I might use more pre-made stuff. I feel like we need some good stark black contrast, so I'm going to go ahead and sew around the edges of these. And I can't get my sewing machine under the camera very well for you guys, so I will be right back. Alright, these are sewn, and I still feel like the edge around is not as dark as I want it to be, so I'm going to come back in with Scorched Timber Distress ink. It is even darker than the Scorched Timber Oxide, so I like to use that if I want to go really dark. Ooh, that looks nice. Number 10, do you enjoy participating in prompt-inspired projects? Yes, I do. Most of the time. Sometimes I just want to like kind of freely create whatever. But I do like prompts. And in fact, I recently got a set of prompts from Marguerite Miller from her Etsy shop and have started a series. I've only filmed one video in the series, but I'm going to do more where I take her prompts and create something. The first one I did was window or door, and that was really fun to work with prompts. I also really love doing like Defemember and Junk Journal January and other things like that, working with prompts. And I can't say that I always complete everything because I don't, but when I am doing those, I really like the challenge, and I have a bullet journal where I keep track of all of my junk journaling prompts and challenges. Yes, I journal too much. We all know that. Between my bullet journaling and book journaling and junk journaling and all the other journalings, there's a lot. By the way, a few months ago, I bought some reading journals, like 4 of them, and showed you guys what they look like, and I have been using them, and I am going to do a follow-up video on that soon. When is soon, you might say? Pretty soon. Question number 11 is, how many journals have you made so far? 56. Is the tally that I'm up to right now. I just finished one that was number 56, so there's your answer to that one. Number 12, what do you enjoy the most about making journals? I need to ink up this side too while I'm at it. I think one of the things that I really love about making journals is that it's a healing and therapeutic process. I have a lot going on in my mind with 3 different mental health diagnoses and just a stressful job, and I'm always feeling like I'm behind schedule. Plus being away from my family, like I live 3 hours away from them, which is close enough to go visit about once a month, but it's not close enough to go see every baseball game of my nephews or every rodeo of my other nephews, or, you know, every horse event that all of my nieces and nephews do. And that can make me pretty sad sometimes, but if I sit down and journal about it, or make a journal, or make some ephemera or something, it really does help me feel better. Oh, look at how bad my sewing machine does from the bottom side. Ooh. I need to take a look at the settings and see what's going on there. It's a mess, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart, and I'll feel the power. You won't, oh you won't, 'cause I can't make you love me if you don't. I was going to maybe pull some of these little pieces from this ephemera collection. Here's an example of some purchased ephemera. This is from Tim Holtz. And I was going to maybe add a couple of layering pieces on top of here, but these just aren't working for me. But what does Louisa say? A butterfly fixes everything. So I'm going to get out my butterfly binder. And as I'm doing that, I will let you know that what do you enjoy most about making journals is the last official question. And then the question 13 is, please tag as many people as you wish. What kind of butterflies do I want here? I want something a little bit neutral, maybe something with some green tinges. These 2 pockets have the most neutral butterflies. So where was I? Oh yeah, I need to tag someone. Well, I feel like the luckiest person ever because I reached out to one of my junk journaling heroes, my major inspiration, which is, of course, Barbara, and she has agreed to participate in this tag. I am beyond words excited, and I don't know how to express how excited I am. Oh wow, that's hitting right in the shiny of the light. So this butterfly isn't going to pop very much, but that's okay. I kind of want it to be something where it just, the, I don't want to say the looker, the viewer has to take a moment and go, oh yeah, that there is a butterfly on there. So we're going with kind of pale things. This would pop a lot more. It has more orangey on the bottom. Not exactly the same, but similar in that it's very light. So instead of sticking this down like a sticker, I'm going to do glue so that this edge can peek over. So yes, Barbara said that she would be glad for me to tag her in this. And Barbara, thank you so much. You have no idea how happy this makes me. All right, I like the 2 on here, and then we have the 3 dragonflies to give us an odd number of fluttering insects. And then on this one, maybe I want to do ones that pop a bit more. So as I finish up this journaling card, I again just want to say thank you guys for watching. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing, sticking around. We do a lot of fun things on this channel. Again, journaling or book related, or journaling about books. It's just, they all go together, right? And that's going to be it for this video. So thank you, Janie, for tagging me in this, and Barbara for continuing to move the tag forward. If anyone else out there would like to do the tag, please feel free to do so and use the hashtag MyJournalJourney. And we'll see you in the next one. So have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.